started warning people about the microchip implant, I was passing out flyers downtown, and one couple said, I can't wait until we do get a microchip implant. It was a few years ago, and I was actually caught off guard by that statement. She said, yeah, it's going to be so much easier for my banking statements and my paychecks and to pay bills. Well, as you know now, there's so many applications for the microchip, it's stunning. What I'm going to show you next is just unbelievable, outstanding, in the very...
NBC has recently predicted that in 2017, all of America will be tagged with microchips. They will be implanted to help identify individuals immediately. According to the report, the technology is used to answer one question: am I who I say I am? Some worry, however, that their fit microchip will give the government too much power, allowing them to track every move. In some states, like Virginia, legislation is in process to stop this from happening. The report also reveals a refit brain chip that has been developed and is currently being tested on several humans. It was reported that the use of microchips in Bill H.R. 4872 was located on page 1014.
This is Brother Kadash Shema. All praises due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Double honors to the apostles, and salutations to all you Akams pushing this word with sincerity and truth. Any Israelite group that's not teaching about the RFID chip is leading you to destruction. There are so many videos on YouTube, and you can also Google it, about this mandatory RFID chip, which Revelation 13 chapter tells you about. Some say it's a corporation, which is a lie. They're lying to you because they're in the bed with the government themselves. And the men from Great Millstone been telling you this from day one.
Special controls guidance for FDA staff free to do the research for yourself. What do you think about this video and story? Sound off in the comments below. Also be sure to stay tuned to Nolly Griot for more breaking news and trending entertainment.
Brother Shema. Okay, I'm going to continue to set this up. My bad. I want to continue on this the clip that I just showed you about the there's so many videos on the RFID chip, so many videos, and if your teacher or your so-called apostle is not teaching you about this, and the breakdown we give you in Revelations 13 and 15, Revelation 13 and 15, chapter 13, they're leading you to destruction. This shit is real right now. This ain't no joke, you know. And don't ever say that we never did a favor for you, the prophets, because we woke you up to this truth. And we telling you, it's all over the internet, you know, about this microchip, how they're gonna plant the people, the New World Order, try to plant this into you, and you won't be able to buy or sell. You won't damn near be able to even live. Now, the first scripture I want to give you, what they're going to introduce you to, is Romans 13. And this is how they're going to slithery, slimy your pastors or whoever is going to try to use this scripture, Revelations 13. And it says, let every soul be subjected to the higher powers, but there is no power but of Yahweh. The powers that be are ordained of Yahweh, God. Whosoever therefore resists the power, resists the ordinance of God. I'm reading this verbatim. And they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. All right. That is true. Every high power is set up from the Most High. Right? We already know that. And we know that when we go against that, you know, that we bringing ourselves to damnation. Because we also know that Esau was blessed with the sword, and his sword is a killing instrument, a weapon. You know, he's the Most High whipping stick, in other words. So yeah, we know that this high power, that the government is set in place through the Most High. But as I brought in one of my early videos, is that when do you resist? When do you go against this? When you go against this is when it's making you try to go against the scriptures of the Most High. And we got a good illustration, which is in Daniel's. I'm going to make it quick. You know the story of Daniel's, with what happened with when Nebuchadnezzar gave an order. So it's Daniel's chapter 3. Verse 5 and 6. Daniel chapter 3, verse 5 and 6. That at what time you hear the sound of the cornet, the flute, the harp, the sackbut, the psaltery, the dulcimer, the dulcimer, and all kinds of music, you fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up. And whosoever fall not down and worship shall the same hour be cast into the midst of burning fire furnace. Now, that's talking about a real furnace of fire. You know, that's not talking about the lake of fire. And now we're going to jump down to verse 15. And it says, now if you be ready, that at what time you hear the sound, the cornet, the flute, the harp, the sackbut, the psaltery and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, you fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if you worship not, you shall be cast the same hour into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands? This is King Nebuchadnezzar. So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. If it be so, our God, Yahweh, our power, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thy hand, O king. Right. So that's when you stand up. If you try to do any other thing outside of these scriptures on your own, it all comes to nothing. Like the Black Panthers, like all these other groups that they call themselves going against the white man and stuff like that, it all fell because that was set up. But spiritually, when they try to make you go against Yahweh, that's when you're supposed to take a stand in righteousness. And that's how evil prevails. Evil prevails when great men don't do anything. And today the great men are the men of Great Millstone that's delivering you this word. And the main prophecy is that RFID chip, Jacob Trouble, martial law, which is all tied in together. So we're giving you that warning. Now, there's Israelites, we got Nate, believe that the RFID chip is a corporation, and other different things, doctrine that they teach and say that it's not the RFID chip when it's all over the internet. Now, is everything in the internet true? No. But we damn know through the scriptures is true. And the men that call themselves studying this word, they would know that the scriptures is true, unless the Lord blinded them. Now, they're going to introduce, especially in the worldly churches, the pagan churches, they're gonna use that scripture, Romans 13 and 1 and 3. You read that whole chapter. That's the way they're gonna tie that in here. But let's go to the book of Acts. Acts 5 verse 29. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey Yahweh rather than men. So we already know getting any tattoo or anything branded, and we know the breakdown of Revelation 13 when it says that if you take that chip, you're going to be put to death. And that goes into Revelation chapter 14. So what are you going to do? Don't be gassed up. Don't be souped up. Because the scriptures tell you the truth. The scriptures forewarn you. Now also, if men say that they're watchmen and they care about their sheep, they're supposed to be going into this, the breakdown of Revelation 13, about the chip. Okay? And to warn the people. So is it that they don't know the breakdown, or they've been paid off? They've been paid off because this is all over the internet. When you do the breakdown and the breakdown of it, you'll know that it's talking about a literally mark. Okay? Not figuratively. That's why you got to know words. Because in different scriptures, different things mean words mean different things in certain scriptures. All right? So, now let me give you one more scripture. Matthew 7 verse 26. Matthew 7 verse 26. Is it Matthew 7 verse 26? No, that's wrong, Shalaki. Okay, so that was the scripture that I want to give you. It's I gave you the illustration with Daniel, chapter 3, verse 5 and 6. Then I jumped to verse 14, 15, and 16. And I gave you Romans 13, which is the pagan church is going to introduce to gas you up. And the blind, which 2/3 of Israel is going to be destroyed anyway, they're going to follow that. Oh, get that chick. And a lot of people's going to get that chick. Now let me go to Revelations 13. Well, actually, let me go to Revelation 14. And it says, Revelation 14, I'm going to start at verse 7. I'm going to start at verse 8. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon has fallen, the great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and not spiritual fornication. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, that any man worship the beast and his image, and receives his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out with mixture in the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone, and the presence of the holy angels, and the presence of the Lamb. And that's going to happen through thermonuclear fire. They're going to be destroyed. Okay? And some of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receives the mark of his name. And they also say that it's a corporation. The mark is a corporation, or it's either Christianity. Nah, it's not even that. It's literally the mark being imprinted in your skin. A chip the size of a grain of rice into your skin. Because a lot of us came out of the world was already in Christianity already. So are we doomed? So that's not that. So that's just a quick breakdown that beware of Revelation, beware of Romans 13, how the pagan churches and some of you Israelite teachers is going to use that scripture to have your congregation follow you and taking that chip because they want to be part of the world. And that chip is the end of your life. Okay? So, Brother Shema, hope you was edified. Shalom.